Good morning, girls. You are welcome to class. I want to believe you had a wonderful night. This morning, I want to find out who knows the reproductive unit of flowering plants. The reproductive unit of flowering plant is called the flower. Inshallah, in this class, we will be looking at the reproductive unit of a flower. We are looking at the reproductive unit of flowering plants. What's our lesson expectation? I expect that at the end of this lesson, each and every one of you will be able to, one, define a flower. Two, you will be able to name the flower parts of a flower. Name the flower parts of a flower. Three, you will be able to describe the reproductive part of a flower. The reproductive parts of a flower. So first in this class, you will attempt to define a flower. Then I will display a flower on the board, a digital image of a flower. You will name the various parts of a flower and identify the flower parts. And after that, we are going to be involved in describing the reproductive part of the flower. And finally, I summarize the lesson. So let's go. What is a flower? A flower is a cluster of modified leaves, which is borne on a shutting stem. On a shutting stem known as the flower stalk or pedicel. And how we can define a flower? A flower simply means a cluster of modified leaves which is borne on a shutting stem called the flower stalk or the pedicel. Now we are going to look at the different parts of a flower. The different parts of a flower. As you can see, this is a longitudinal section of a flower. Looking at it from the lower end, we have the pedicel, just like I said, that a flower is a short, or a flower is a cluster of modified leaves that is borne on a shutting stem called the pedicel or the flower stalk. It consists of the pedicel. We have the outermost flower part, which is called the sepal. We have the receptacle. We have the ovule, the petal, the filament, the anther, the polytube, the stigma, the style, and the ovary. these are the various parts of the flower. Looking at this flower, you will agree with me that the flower has 4 flower parts. The outermost flower part is called the sepal. Then the second flower part is called the petal. The third flower part is the stamen. The stamen is the main reproductive part of a flower. It consists of the filament and the anther. And then the innermost flower part is the pistil or the carpel, which is the female reproductive part of a flower. It consists of the stigma, the style, and the ovary. I want to believe we can identify the 4 flower parts from this diagram. So next, we will be looking at the reproductive part of a female flower. The reproductive part of a female flower. Of a female flower. The female flower, as we saw on that diagram of the flower, this is a female reproductive part of a flower. You can be asked to draw the female reproductive part of a flower, which consists of the stigma, the style, the ovary. Inside the ovary, we have the female gamete, which is called the ovule. Yes, this is the female reproductive part of a flower, which is called the pistil. It's called the pistil or it's called the pistil or the carpel. Now, just like when we treated the human reproductive system, we saw that it is made up of various parts. In the same vein, we have the female reproductive part of a flower, which consists of the stigma, the style, the ovary, and the ovule. Now, what are the functions of this part? The stigma is what receives the pollen grain during pollination. The style contains the pollen tube, which connects the stigma down to the ovary. The ovary houses the female gamete, which is called the ovule. Now, what happens after fertilization? Of course, the passage of the pollen grain through the style to the ovary, which fuses with the ovule, is called fertilization. What happens after fertilization? The ovary develops into the fruit. The ovary develops into the fruit, while the ovule develops into the seed. Any question? Any problem? Finally, we'll be looking at the main reproductive part of the flower. The main reproductive part of the flower, it consists of 2 parts. This is the main reproductive part of the flower called the stamen. It consists of the anther and the filament. The anther carries the pollen grains. The anther carries the pollen grains. The pollen grains are the male gamete in plants, while the filament carries the anther. Any question? Okay. In conclusion, You see the problem that I'm facing. This thing have deleted. I first put this card. That's deleted. You can see that it's not showing.
Have you gone to this part?
You don't go. You know this something will have shown here.
That means it's from the smart button.
I mistakenly placed touch discard.